All right, everyone. Welcome to another round one matchup of the Omega Series, the 5v5 tourney. This is kind of an exciting match that I think is going to be pretty cool. So this is between the 13th and 14th teams, which are Controlled Destruction, which is the Master Bell, and then some lower people, although John Doe's on that team, but essentially Master Bell, John Doe, and then some like lower OS people, and then Goopy and a bunch of his lower OS friends. So it's sort of a golden captain situation, which is, I think, hopefully going to be pretty fun for us to watch and check out. So let's get into bans. It looks like bans have already started, and now we're on the picking phase. So we got a ban on Erebos, Red Rock, Angel, and Tropical. Turns out neither of these teams really like to swim. Looks like every map they banned out has water, so checks out. As a lower OS team, Goopy and Friends does get to pick first, and it looks like we are going to get some DSDR, which, hey, you know, that's one of the classics. It makes sense. It's great for 5v5, great for 8v8s, and a lot of people probably have really good exposure on it, which is why it would be a good pick. And you can tech, you can do all sorts of different things on it. And Control-D, pick an Altered Divide, which in all the scrims and practice games that I've seen, even just the pub 5v5 games, Altered Divide is probably one of the most common picked moments, or like most common picked maps that I've seen, which is great. I think it's a really fun map. The reclay makes it a little snowbally, but it's still a really good map. Tangerine. Oh, okay. All right. The Goopy and Friend says, hey, we banned water, you banned water, but there's still some water left on one map, and we're gonna take you to the cleaners on that map. We're gonna see if you guys can swim. We're gonna throw you in the deep end here. So that'll be interesting. We do get to see some sea play. And lastly, we see Taboola, which was actually a replacement for a previous map, Boulder Beach. And I've seen and heard a lot of players say, hey, we didn't really have time to practice this as much. It is an older map and we've played on it, but I think we're just going to ban it. So it's interesting that Control-D decided, hey, there's no bans on this bad boy. We're playing it and we are committed. So that those are the picks. So game 1 is on DSDR, game 2 is on Altered Divide, game 3 is on Tangerine, and game 4 is on Taboola, which I think this is going to be a pretty exciting and kind of just cool sort of combination for everything that's happening. Players are loading in now, so let's get moving. All right, so on the left side, we do have Controlled Destruction playing as the red team, and on the blue side, the eastern team, we've got Team Goopy and Friends, led by none other than Goopy, who is going to open core bots and fight for the mountain. All right, MDXD in back, Arm, probably going to see some airplay from him. We got Maximus, or Miximus, I'm going to call him Maximus because I don't know, another core bot open. Zeke with the Arm vehicle open, triple solar, my man hates the wind. And we've got Shan, not K. We're going to call him Purple. Good work, Purple. We're on you. Over here, we've got John Doe, who is a pretty strong player. He plays in every lobby known to man. He plays straight, he plays glitters, he plays map rotation, he plays high OS, he plays low OS, he plays all welcome. That man has been everywhere. Akumu with a armed vehicle start. Sargeras with a core bot start. Ambulatory Cortex, whose name is too long to have that tag in, but his real name is Ambulatory Cortex, I can't talk, is right here with the core vehicle open, which is kind of interesting on North Hill, and Master Bell in the bot line. Curious if we're going to see, he opened bots, but I wonder what he's going to transition out into. We see the first scouts coming in. Akumu is just patrolling around. He wants to know, hey, what's going on out here? And he doesn't see anything yet, but I think this could be a little bit of a scout skirmish. And ooh, Tick versus Rover, always a little rough for the Rover. Turns out, guys, Ticks are pretty good units. They are not bad. These Ticks are going to be fighting and responding, stopping some of the Rover scouts and Rover aggression from Akumu and John Doe, and they're slowly going to push out. Shannon with a pretty early comm walk towards the front, but I can respect it. And up on top, Goopy likewise with an incredibly early comm walk. And he is going to take Mexes right away. My man says, hey, I know where I want to go. I know where I want to be, and I'm off. Ambulatory and Sargeras are both still chilling in base, although Sargeras starts his calm walk. And down here, ooh, Okumu sneaks in 3 rovers in the back line. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, there's still commanders in the back, so I don't think these are going to be able to accomplish too much, but they do slow down the map control and the aggression from Maximus. Both these grunts are going to have to run back and try to chase these down. Looks like MDXD has popped out ticks and getting ready. All right, and the rovers are coming in. They're going to meet their demise at the hands of some grunts. Sargeras battling it out with Goopy up on top. Some grunt versus grunt action. If you've ever played this game before, you've seen a lot of this. This is a standard. It's a classic. Ambulatory Cortex trying to sneak in some some rovers in there as well. All right, Jondo and Zeke on the bottom, starting to set this front line. Little rover and blitz versus rover and blitz. It's almost like they both kind of know what they're doing. Oh, and we've got a little pawn versus blitz exchange. It's actually a little scary when you fight versus blitz now, or when you fight pawns as blitz, just because the pawns, if they get up close, they have such incredible DPS and they can shred so much at such a lower cost. 92 DPS versus 90 DPS. Yep, makes sense. Ooh, MDXD with the little tick run by. Uh-oh, where are these guys going? They're going on an adventure. Where are we headed? All right, and while that raid is happening, it looks like Kumu and Purple have, whoa, Kumu's pawns have done a ton of work. Purple's pawns have done a ton of work. Akumu pulled his blitz for some reason, and it looks like Goopy has started to do an insane amount of pressure on top just with his calm and with a lot of grunts. If you've ever played with Goopy, you know that man is going to do one thing, and that is make grunts before anything else. Uh-oh, Okumu snuck these incisors in. Are they actually going to be able to accomplish that much? A Centurion from Purple. A double Centurion, and it looks like these Centurions might actually clean up these blitz. Couldn't run away fast enough. Oh, Whistler's on the bottom of DSDR. It's more likely than you think. So it looks like John Doe is on medium tanks and blitz. He's got a couple Janus out, and this is just a pure Whistler play from Zeke, but Zeke needs to be careful. You know, Whistlers need something to retreat back to, and if there isn't something there, they can definitely get overrun. Maximus pulls up and he's got grunts to cover him, so some nice teamwork there. Masterbell flying forward. Oh, sir, where are you going? Oh no, don't get D-gunned out of the sky. Don't get D-gunned out of the sky. Oh, he doesn't have the energy. Goopy. Oh, he gets him anyway. All right. Goopy with the bar sense. He's like, I know that they may have had radar actually. Oh yeah, he had radar here, so he knew. Saw it flying and came in, and he got it. Master Bell with the or not XD. He knows he made a mistake, but Goopy was there just in time. Didn't have the energy to D-gun, but it didn't matter. He was able to just snipe it with comm lasers out of the sky. Ooh, this is a Whistler ball that is getting bigger. It's a little concerning. Once these Whistler balls get into the 8 to 12 unit mark, it starts to get real scary to deal with them because they can just 2-volley and insta-kill a lot of things. Goopy's still battling here. That boost of metal, he's holding it all. He's a little stingy. Also notice that Goopy is not sharing. The Master Bell Control D team does have their sliders down, and they are sharing with the exception of Jean Doe, who's apparently just a little greedy. But hey, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Goopy holding onto this metal. He might try to T2 in a sec here. Getting his Geo up. All right, trying to fix his energy problems. But unfortunately, Goopy is in a pretty serious 1v2, although he is getting some help from MXDX, and John Doe is getting pushed. Look at this, Maximus and Zeke. They say, hey, there's only one of you and there's two of us. We're gonna bully you. With John Doe falling up this much and such a massive hole in middle, though, Maximus says, hey, I don't want to play games anymore. I'm just going to run past your army. I'm going to go kill Eco. And John Doe doesn't really have the units to back off. He's got some Dragon's Claws to withstand the Whistlers, and he's got some Shell Shockers to fight him back. So Zeke won't be able to push into this, but in the classic bar move, when you see pork, you can just run around it. You don't have to fight. So he's going to try to get into a base and do some damage. This could be a lot of damage on Akumu. Oh, I take it back. Master Bell, he says, hey, you know what's a really balanced unit that completely shuts down early aggression? The Shuriken. And guess what? Here they come. Oh, he needs to be careful though. There are Whistlers, but I think these are going to hold him long enough for Akumu to clean it up. MDXD started to bring fighters, but it's not even needed. The Whistlers are there if the Shuris try to come up again. Sargeras is pushing back Goopy. Poor Goopy is bringing his comm up, bringing his comm down, and doing everything he can. He's got this line of grunts that's holding. But while he's stalling for time up here, bottom is looking in a pretty good position. Bottom has the two front mexes. Bottom front has the two mexes here that are gonna let him just overwhelm John Doe, hopefully. Unfortunately, Dragon's Claws are not super balanced, and takes a lot of Whistlers to kill him. So John Doe's able to stall for time while everyone else is recovering. But Akumu just with a small force of 4 Stouts and 2 Janus trying to hold back the rocket bot push. He needs to be real careful. If he loses those and they flood through, it could be game. Looks like Zeke's gonna come up and try to help him. I don't think we've seen T2 yet, have we? Oh, I take it back. Maximus has dropped his T2 for the blue team, and MDXT did his air switch. Have we seen T2 over here? It doesn't look like it yet. So red team hasn't teched and is instead going to try to just bring sheer aggression. Goopy is still holding 1v2, doing incredible work versus Sargeras and versus Ambulatory Cortex, which is honestly pretty impressive. Granted, he is 53 OS. He does know how to play the game. Zeke's still chipping away with Whistlers, but there's enough Shell Shockers here now that this Whistler ball is going to have pretty serious problems trying to fight. Zeke does have incredible damage. Wow, all of the blue team has incredible damage efficiency, but they're using that damage efficiency and they have a slight economic lead. So let's see if Goopy and friends can recover. As I say that, I almost miss a bombing run. So I'm glad we came in and caught that. Just a few bombers, but what are we gonna get? We get a max. Get a max. Ooh. MDXD. Here we go. Here we go. Coming in. Coming in. Big bombs, boys. Big bombs. All right, we got a couple mexes. All right, and Master Bell's about to drop his T2. John Doe is still fighting back this Whistler ball, and Zeke is spamming Whistlers. We've got more bombers coming to the front here. What are they going to try to hit, though, is the real question. And Goopy up top says, you know what I want? I want more grunts. By God, he'll have them. All right, and Master Bell is on the front now. Oh, he was probably given these stouts by someone else to micro. So he is microing verse Centurions with some stouts, trying to do what damage he can. Zeke is holding up both sides, but here comes the next bombing run from MDXD. And if John Doe isn't careful, he could actually lose a lot to these bombers. No, okay, no. But these bombers are going to come through. Can they hit his eco? Yes. All right, we got some good windmill hits from the bombers there, and they're going to be able to contribute even more damage here momentarily. So great work from MDXD, putting in a lot of damage. John Doe says, hey, this is stalled out enough. I don't want to waste time. Eats his T1 lab, and here comes the T2. But this is still a pretty favorable economic advantage for the blue team. Goopy and friends saying, hey, we want to win this first game. We want to set the tone, and they're trying. Goopy snuck in a few grunts and was able to get some eco damage as well on Akumu, so starting to get a little tight for him. Goopy is still... Oh my. Goopy coming up and taking out a con. It looks like he got Sargeras' con on the top of the hill, and here come 55 grunts. 12 minutes into the game. I hope Defibrillatory is prepared because there's no stopping the Goopy Grunt Ball. All right, and John Doe still trading out with Zeke, doing relatively well. What is Maximus on? Maximus dropping the Sheldons, and there's already Sheldons and a Jammer in mid. They're going to be able to chip this and push it through. Yellow team desperately needs T2, but it turns out that Sargeras, even though he lost his comm, is able to do insane damage with a small amount of grunts. He's shredding all of Purple's base. Oh god. There's an LLT now, but I don't think it's enough. Unfortunately, Shannon just lost all of his wind. He's on 118 energy production. That is a tough pill to swallow. Hopefully this team can share some energy with their sliders and maybe contribute some over, just share over some windmills. But for the meantime, this is looking really strong for blue, regardless of everything else. And Goopy, with the grunt run by, says, hey, I see a base and it's exposed. Time to throw 21 grunts and 1 pawn at it. This looks like it could be the end of Akumu. He's pulling back his stouts to go fight it, and there are Shuris coming, but it looks like despite that, his entire economy and his entire base is going to go. He's got his vehicle lab and some windmills left. No build power aside from 1 con. Now comes the fight in T2. So the real question is, can John Doe up his mexes and then build something to actually withstand the Sheldon push in mid? It is a relatively unprotected Sheldon push. There's only T1 in front of it. Oh, here come the Shuris. MDXD needs to pull his fighters and take care of them. It looks like he's trying. Here come the fighters. Master Bell does not have fighters of his own, so they're going to have to fight over AA. It looks like he backed up. John Doe with some cheeky mines, and up top, Goopy is bringing the grunt ball. Looks like he's able to break the majority of the pork, aside from this one Dragon's Maw, which is roasting all of these grunts. Oh my word. Turns out walls in front of Dragon's Maw's 81 health, but it survived and did insane damage. Goopy says, you know what? Why fight that when we can go around? Looks like he's going to try to circle around and get into bases. But John Doe is still holding despite this Sheldon ball. What's his... all right, so he's got the mechs. He's getting another T2 con instead of units. I feel like that might be a little greedy or a little concerning, but we'll see. Does he have a jammer on front? He doesn't have a jammer on front, so unfortunately, he won't be able to comb bomb this. He's gonna throw away his army a little bit just to try to get some room, some space. And the Sheldon's back up, so he's still creating breathing room. We'll see if he's able to recover from this. Uh-oh. And Goopy has said, I want a raid and I want it now. Oh, there's a Dragon's Maw. It was so close, but it's not done. There's another one farther back, but the grunts are out of range. They're gonna be able to sneak through, and he just got his T2 con. Oh no. Goopy, the grunt master, the grunt whisperer, really, which, now that I've said it out loud, really does not sound good. We're just gonna go ahead and redact the grunt whisperer from the rest of this cast. Goopy is really good with grunts. He's really good at run-bys and doing a lot of damage. Master Bell bringing Shuris to shut him down. And oh, is Goopy trading? Goopy with the comm trade on top blows it down. There's what? A Dragon's Maw, a couple of Brutes, and a Wolverine, and he is gonna throw all the grunts in the world at it. Should have Resbots somewhere coming, and MDXD bot tacked. He's got Hounds coming to help push top. The Sheldons might run into some mines. One of the OP mine things is that once you hit one, you're not sure if there are more, so it can really stall pushes. Let's see what these mines can do. Ooh, those are light mines, aren't they? Yeah, he needs to step into the medium mines. Kumu tried to rebuild his base, but he is struggling. And it looks like Goopy has completely broken through top. But we've got some twin guards, we're building Maws, and we actually have Shuris. I don't think Goopy can break this with what he has here. Shuri pop-up is not to be trifled with. So Goopy recognizes that and he says, you know what? I'm gonna send my grunts somewhere else. John Doe still holding, and he's got a bull out. He's got Mausers out, and he might be able to hold this bottom. If he can hold this bottom long enough for Master Bell's master plan to kick in, we'll see what happens. Master Bell spamming A solars. Don't tell Kuchi, he could be in trouble. And he has his own T2. Dropping a Twitcher, lots of fiends. Oh boy. All right, these stouts are getting D-Gun purple with a juicy, juicy D-Gun. And Goopy, oh my word! John Doe with the greatest mine placement ever. It was like one mine that just killed like 15 grunts. All right. Good work, John Doe. Putting in some time. Oh, but these grunts are still, there's not enough mines. These grunts are still running through. They're gonna do a lot. Do we have more Shuris? Oh, it looks like all the Shuris top died. But we got fiends coming. I don't know if there's enough fiends to really make this work though. And John Doe is pushing bot. He gets Zeke's commander on bottom. And oh boy, the bulls are gonna run through and have a field day there. Maximus needs to, oh, Maximus with the Giga Greed Afu is now dropping his T2 lab. This is a little scary. I feel like these bulls could clean up. We desperately need some Shuris from Maximus, who is air and doesn't have an air lab. All right, never mind. Abort that suggestion, boys. It looks like those grunts were cleaned up, but now we've got hounds on top, and these hounds are focus firing rovers. They should be able to come up and definitely start chipping. If we can get some spam with this, I think it would be OP. All right, now he's gonna start pushing up and seeing what he can do. He's gonna have to target fire these mexes though, target fire these teeth and maws. Oh, never mind, there's a scorpion up. That is gonna be incredibly hard to actually break. John Doe gets collapsed on by the entirety of Goopy and friends on the bottom. But he still was able to do quite a bit of damage. He's running back now, but it looks like pawns are gonna catch all of this artillery and just kill it, which is gonna be a pretty brutal loss. There's a lot of reclaim down here though. 4.1k, and it looks like John Doe might be able to get it, although I say that and there's a ton of bulls streaming out from Zeke, so Zeke might be able to just take enough bulls and break it. Shuri's top. Master Bell says, hey, you're not breaking this, and a persecutor going down along with the scorpion. Yeah, this top section is all but unbreakable. We've got, okay, AGO's gonna be built eventually. It's queued up. Goopy with the T2 lab. I wonder if we might see some termite play. So blue is still in an economic lead, but they haven't quite broken. Top is holding, and so they're gonna refocus all their efforts bottom, and this is a lot of metal. 17.4 thousand metal is about to come crashing in. Unless they walk into some mines, I think it's going to be pretty scary if they just take an approach up into the back line like this. There's AA with them, so these Shuris are going to have a limited effectiveness. John Doe might need a persecutor. Oh, mines. Oh, John Doe, the mine king. Good lord, he is doing work with these. Everyone who supports mine layers, eat your heart out. John Doe is absolutely crushing it. Shuris get a few stuns, but there's Archangels in back, and the Archangels are just ripping the Shuris apart. There's a few fiends he can try to self-D, but it's looking like this is gonna be an overwhelming push on bottom. In the meantime, Goopy is gonna try to shove fiends up top, but I think it's all but impossible for them to break. John Doe has held bottom this entire time and is still holding bottom. Kumu tries to get a good comm trade, but with the radar and everything else, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. And okay, Master Bell with an absolute army of Shuris, and it looks like this army is actually gonna pivot, and it's gonna come collapsing down on John Doe, who needs to be very careful. Oh no, he's the last commander. Oh no, John Doe, the last commander with 500 health. They recognize it, and Goopy and Friends says, we are coming. We see you here. This is all we need. The entire army just collapsing on him. John Doe running for his life. I don't think there's anywhere for him to go, and there is not. Goopy and Friends absolutely clutching game one. It was a little close for a second there, but he was able to snatch it out, and they made that last minute pivot once it was down to the final con. So great work. Shout out to John Doe for holding bottom, and Goopy with the standard Goopy raids doing incredible work. Maximus, very, very good scaling there. And in terms of damage, wow, Maximus with great efficiency too. But well played by both sides. I think that was a great little starter game. Good work, everyone involved. And excited to see game two. Let's see if our boys Controlled Destruction, led by Master Bell and John Doe, can rally back for the victory.